I'm standing in the middle of my two beds in my vegetable garden, and it's a huge mess. As you guys can see, or you're about to see, it's a mess. Things are overgrown, tomatoes are falling over. I have plants like my tomatillos that are just falling on the side. Things are crazy. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably already know that I got sick with the virus that is going around around the US and around the world. I got sick, my teenager got sick, so it was 2 or 3 weeks there of kind of just being sick and not being able to be out here in the garden. I am completely fine. It was a very mild cold type of thing, and I was out for 2.5 weeks. And during that time, I wanted nothing to do with anything other than my pillow and the TV. And so the garden got forgotten. During that whole time, it didn't rain. It was in the 90s. Things struggle. I am really surprised that my tomatoes are still producing and giving me a lot of things to harvest because nobody watered them. They went through a lot of heat, and I'm just thankful that I have my health back and that the garden is still standing. With that said, I wasn't able to be out here, pruning the suckers, making sure that the plants were going up and right. If something was getting out of control, I could have trimmed it or pruned it, but it didn't happen. And sometimes life happens. So today I am just coming here and doing a huge cleaning as much as I can today, and hopefully in the next few days I'll slowly keep on cleaning and pruning. I'll probably be starting to put some things from seed directly into the beds, like cool weather things, even though it's still in the 90s. But some years are better than others in the garden. So let me start because I have a lot to do. One of the plants that I tried new this year for me are these Hawaiian cherry tomatoes. They are proven to be one of the most invasive plants that I have tried. They just grow and grow and grow and don't stop growing. I have 2 of them covering my tomato arch in the middle, which I'll show you here in a minute, but I also have one in this container, and it completely blocked the path towards the back alley, and it's a mess. And honestly, I cannot keep up with the tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes here, because this plant, like I said, it doesn't stop growing. My goodness, it is crazy. If you are looking for a plant, a cherry tomato plant that is just produces hot and heavy during the whole season, Hawaiian currant are definitely the tomatoes to try. So when I said that the garden is definitely taken off and going well because I have not tended to it, I was not kidding. Look at this tomato plant. This is Dr. Witch's Yellow. See all of these branches that are coming to me? These are going all the way to the container that I have on the other side. They're all coming through here. They went out of their way and are coming onto my pathway over here. So normally I'm out here, I am controlling all the runners, all the suckers that are growing, but because I haven't been out here in a few weeks, this is what happens. So I am standing underneath my arch of tomatoes. Honestly, this arch has been a great success and more. I have a total of 6 tomatoes here, 2 cherries in the front, Hawaiian currant, and two indeterminate tomatoes. I have, I'll show you a close-up here of these yellow pear tomatoes. They are this big. They're good. They're not my favorite per se, but they're great producers. And actually, about a month ago, the plant started showing signs of blight. So I know that they're not like the best variety to grow in my zone. Like I mentioned, the Hawaiian currant, my goodness, you guys, I could have probably used one Hawaiian currant for this whole arch, and it would have been more than enough. But I didn't know that when I started, when I put the 2 plants over here, and my goodness, I have come really hard into pruning them. this season, and they still go. I feel like the more I prune them, the stronger that they come back. And honestly, I cannot keep up with harvesting. Look at that. They are super delicious. You wait until they're completely red and they are absolutely delicious. And I know that they're all over the place over here, and I know that next year I'll probably be fighting all the volunteers, but that's okay, it happens. I think that next year, thinking about it, I'm definitely going to put this plant where it has room to use takeoff, because right over here, even though I have a lot of room, it's not enough for the Hawaiian currants. It completely shaded the two plants of tomatoes on the back, and yeah, I mean, it's a great problem to have. And as you can see on the back, I have all of the zinnias and flowers and tomatoes that I planted on the big raised bed that we built, or that my husband built early in the year. And let me show you how those are going back there. So as I get out of the arch here, where I have the tomatoes, I have the raised bed that my husband built at the beginning of the year. I will link that video below so you can kind of see how it looks like if you haven't been here before. But I started a bunch of sweet peppers in the front, mixed with nasturtiums, although some nasturtiums just didn't make it. And then I put a bunch of zinnias, and tomatoes in the corner. I have a couple of leftover cattle panel pieces that I put in a 90-degree there in each corner, and the tomatoes are doing great there. I have some amaranth that I have been cutting a lot of blooms from, and honestly, any day on a sunny day, if you stop by here, it's filled with hummingbirds and butterflies. I mean, I have like 3 monarch butterflies right now that are kind of everywhere. So so far I'm excited about this bed. If you remember, I filled the bottom third of the bed with branches, wood, things from the garden, leftover potting mix from the year before, just to help me so that I didn't have to fill the whole bed, which is really tall, completely with fresh new soil. So it's doing great. I am very happy with how everything is growing here. I have a lot to clean. There are weeds, there's stuff all over. Some zinnias are falling on the side. I have no support for these zinnias. They are on their own, and because they're really thick together, I think that they're kind of helping each other just stand upright. Go on. And overall, I think that it's pretty nice, and I'm very happy with it. Some tomatoes are struggling by now, but they still have a lot of green tomatoes on them. I have been here this week harvesting lots of tomatoes, and I have plenty of tomatoes to do some canning. And honestly, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be pulling a lot of plants that are already just past the point of saving, and I am going to be checking some local nurseries for starters for things that will be doing well during the cold months. Some things like my hot peppers, jalapenos, and poblano peppers are loving it. They are producing strong, and I think I'm going to have to figure out some ways to save the peppers, maybe freeze them or maybe canning them. I don't know. You guys have a good recipe or technique to save all of your peppers? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for this video, you guys. I think that it's about to rain. I have a lot to clean up. I got all of the stuff that I use pull or trim back. I gotta get rid of it, and I have still a lot to do here, but I just wanted to show you. Sometimes, you know, it's just not all the pretty spotless looking gardens that you have in your garden. Sometimes when things happen and you can't tend to your gardens, messes happen, and all you have to do is just go with the flow. Thank you for being here, and until the next video.